Thank you, Reverend, for your welcome to us all and for your prayers for my father, Mike Harting. From your warm words about Daddy, I see that even now he has lost none of his power to fascinate. And how fitting that those words would have come from a lady who drives a sports car too. Thank you too to Amanda and Victoria for all their preparations for today and for allowing me the tribute of voicing this tribute, allowing me the privilege of voicing this tribute to our father. It's wonderful to be with Team Mike Harting today, and thank you all for coming. I should say that there will be no collection after the service. A donation is made for all of you on your behalves. And my sisters and I would like to say a special thanks to Sean and Kate and Russell and Leslie for being so kind and helpful to Mike during his Petworth years, whether rescuing Mike in the middle of the night, looking after his beloved cat Freddie, or doing shuttle runs to the hospital with the essential Daily Telegraph. These are the unasked for acts of kindness that bespeak true friendship. Special thanks too to his sister Mary for bringing Daddy the new clothes he needed to look smart in hospital and the headphones he needed to hear Lewis Hamilton win the Bahrain Grand Prix. How happy that victory made him. And thank you too to Angela for being the attentive friend that Daddy so needed in hospital, and to Gemma for looking after him so well in the last few months. And it's lovely to see Mike's grandchildren today. I'm sorry that Florence can't be here too. You grandchildren won't have been to many services like this, so I do want to tell you that it's okay to smile today, even to laugh. You know that there was nothing more that your grandpa liked to do. And what a great smile he had, always smiling, eyes twinkling, and with an uncanny knack for finding the most fun person in any room. That could get him into trouble sometimes. He loved a good food fight, but as JJ knew, it always had strict rules. If your clothes needed the dry cleaner afterwards, that was fine, but if they needed the tailor, someone had gone too far. The Jessops, the Fords, Tim and Elliot are all here representing Daddy's lifelong friends, who I thank for all their calls, cards, and visits to Daddy in hospital. It's good to know that while in hospital, Daddy had such recent reminders of all the things he loved. Sunny days with friends, yacht racing, skiing, golf, fishing, rugby, and great larks. Daddy did like his sport and played rugby till he was 45. I could have played for England, he would say. Well, they only had to ask. And he always supported school teams, coming to watch us play sport, although of course he did also like to give the half-time talk. And Guy is here, representing HWM, the business Mike so adored, which spawned the Grand Prix car he bravely raced at Goodwood. Thanks to Guy and his team, we were able to tell Mike more than once that we were the top Aston Martin dealer in the world for the year. And Mike could make the years that we topped the charts last a very long time. Mike's life began and ended in the same place 90 years apart. That was Bognor Regis, or Chichester as he preferred. Although his life came full circle in the end, what an amazing adventure he had in between. Yesterday, I found his first passport. In the picture, a full head of wavy hair, slim face, handsome, that same skin that would never see sunscreen, yet never grow a crease. It was issued the day after his 18th birthday, and the week before he boarded a boat bound for the furthest point away from where he then stood. Holding it in my hand, I thought about how much that passport said about Mike. A man in a hurry. He got it the first day he could. A true romantic. That passport would carry him to his beloved Anne, his first love, and soon to be his wife of 61 years. a brave man. He was about to go to Australia, then a young and challenging country, only to risk rejection by his sweetheart there. A man full of self-confidence. He had a fundamental belief in himself that despite those risks, things would work out for him. And they did. But you couldn't tell from that passport the intangible quality that made Mike so special. His charm. He was the very definition of a charming man. Everyone felt better about themselves and their lives for being in his company. He would charm with his sense of fun, by being dressed just right, by being on time, by having perfect manners, but most of all, by being truly interested in everything about whoever he was with. Mike loved people. He hated being on his own, not because it would make him feel sorry for himself, but rather because he knew being alone was a missed opportunity to enrich someone else's life. And he had a story for every occasion. Two remarkable things about that. First, they were almost all true. And secondly, no occasion has been invented that did not warrant the detailed retelling of his famed Lord Lucan story. Always so funny and quick to the point. I remember one student summer when I was hop picking in Kent. It was left to my father in Walton to open an envelope and tell me over the phone how I had done in my first year exams. Well, he said, telling me that I had failed, I hope you were good at hop picking, because you're no flipping good at law. And Mike had laughed at himself too. I remember he and Mummy coming to Las Vegas with my family when he walked way across town on a solo trip to what he thought was the world's largest Bally's shoe shop. Ever the shop dresser, that would have been like Mecca to him. But he laughed heartily at his own folly when he got there and realised it was in fact a very large casino called Bally's. And we were lucky that Mike never lost that ability to see the funny side of life, and he kept his mind sharp to the end. He followed the news closely in the papers and on the radio. He had an opinion, but was open-minded, and he had a real interest in young people, who he was always quick to encourage with the benefit of his experience. All those things meant that he was never an old man to any of us or to himself, which, brave though he was the thing he feared most. He and Anne were marvellous parents to my sisters and me. When Claire was expecting Hugo, I received some parenting advice from Mike. Being a parent is easy, he said. The thing is that your children will naturally love you so much that they will forgive you for all your faults. That advice bore all his hallmarks: self-confidence, humour, and optimism. Possibly a touch of denial. But in their case at least, of course he was right. Amanda, Victoria, and I loved them both to bits. I said of them on my wedding day that as parents, they loved without question, advised without prescription, and supported without fail. And Daddy did that to the last, for everyone in my sisters and my families. I feel confident I speak for all of them when I say how grateful we are to him. And I know with absolute certainty I speak for him when I say how proud he was of all of you. I was just standing in Daddy's garden earlier, looking beautiful on this spring day, and I was reminded of Leonard Nimoy's words. He said, "Life is like a garden. Perfect moments can be had but not preserved, except in memory." I'm sure we'll all have many memories of perfect moments with Mike. And we'll remember him in little ways too. I'll remember he always had with him his wallet, though rarely his diary, a handkerchief, red socks, memories of his beloved wife Anne and mother Betty. And he still does today. I think it says everything about today that none of us thought this day would come. Now it has. I'm so thankful it is a beautiful spring day in the gracious company of family and friends. Thank you for all for coming to say goodbye to the playful, the irrepressible, the lovable, the magical Mike Harting.